And good afternoon, guys. This is Working, bringing you a quick update on Bitcoin. Hope you guys are having a wonderful week so far, getting ready for the weekend. It's almost there. I know I am. But we're looking at BTC USD pairing on Coinbase 4-hour chart right now, guys. And yesterday I said that price was consolidating within this wedge. We were creating a series of lower highs, higher lows. I said as it got closer to the apex of the wedge, we could expect a larger move, a breakout to the up or the downside. I said if it broke down, we were going to find support at the 6145 support zone between 6145 and 6050. That's exactly what happened. It did break down, kind of wicked into that support, and now it's just sitting right on top of it, just kind of meandering literally right on top of that zone. I mean, it just couldn't have stopped almost any more perfectly than that. So, the question is, where is price going to head? Where is price heading next? Excuse me, guys. Let me clear my throat real quick. Sorry about that, guys. So where is price heading next? It's right now we're seeing, again, we're not seeing any volume. We're not seeing any follow through. We're not seeing, it's just or not follow through. We're just not seeing any volume. We're not seeing any buyers in the market to justify any kind of a major move up. I was hoping to see a nice little bounce once we hit the support zone. Granted, we haven't gone very deep into that support zone quite yet. So guys, we may just see it kind of meander here sideways, enter a little deeper into the support zone, and that's what it's going to need to trigger an impulse wave up. If this is in fact the bottom of wave C, it certainly does make sense. We've got 5 clear waves here for wave C, so that would make a logical bottom. However, we could get a little bit deeper. Certainly our wave C could come a little bit deeper before impulsing up. Doesn't mean it's going to impulse up. In fact, as of right now, we're seeing no evidence that it will, but it doesn't mean that we won't. We're gonna have to wait and see how this plays out, guys. This support, there's a little resistance zone up in here that was created. Obviously, it looks like a little supply zone almost of some sell orders, so I wouldn't be surprised to see a bit of a bounce, come up, test this resistance, come back down, test the support, possibly create a double bottom, and at that point, off to the races. That would be that'd be obviously best case scenario. Best case scenario would be to just take off now, but logically speaking, I wouldn't be surprised to see. Well, let's check this out. If we're looking at our 4-hour, let's look at the histogram here. We can see that there is clear. Let me just draw this out for you. We can see clear bullish divergence. We can see the price trending down as our histogram is clearly trending up. Again, on the 4-hour, we're not getting that so much on the RSI or on the 4-hour RSI. However, it did kind of create almost a double bottom here on the RSI, almost a double bottom pattern. Certainly didn't go any lower as price did. So technically, we would still consider that bullish divergence. So yeah, I mean, that tells me that maybe there is some strength in the market yet, or a little bit more strength than we've seen obviously here in the market, enough to possibly temporarily prop the price up just slightly, come up, test this supply zone. And again, guys, I would expect some resistance here at this supply zone. And get rid of this arrow here. A couple things we're looking at here I found interesting. We can see that there is an ascending support line here that was tested numerous times in the past, a couple times here, quite a few times here, and then once again being tested here, showing that this is a valid resistance. I find it interesting that this support line intersects, if we pull our fib, we go from the bottom swing low up to our top, our wave 5, we can see that its price is just sitting right on top of the 618, right on top of the golden ratio. We can see it just temporarily wick down into the golden pocket, they call it. The golden pocket is between the 618 and the 0.65. That's typically called the golden pocket, guys. We can see it barely wicked into it, and now it's just sitting right on top of it. I find it interesting that we're now intersecting between that resistance and that 618. Something is going to have to give. If price just kind of meanders here to the side, doesn't really impulse up at all, doesn't really, just kind of slowly disregards this resistance, that's going to be a sign of weakness. If it then ends up breaking below this 618 resistance, in my opinion, guys, this is kind of put up or shut up for Bitcoin. As far as this uptrend here, this is the point in time where it's put up or shut up. If we go below this 618, that's going to show a sign of market weakness. We can talk about that later. That's going to show a sign of market weakness, and then more than likely we're going to come down here, possibly test the 786, but more than likely come down here and test the 5900 support zone, little demand zone dotted here, and then that's going to be very interesting if we do end up getting there, whether or not we get a decent bounce as we did here, or that would almost be, since we almost had a double bottom here, you can't really see it with the wick, but almost as close as you can get to a double bottom. That would be testing it for a third time, and I hate to see it would break on the third time, but there's a real possibility if we do end up coming down here and testing it for the third time, there's a real possibility that zone breaks. We'll have to wait and see how that ends up playing out, guys. But for now, we're just kind of hoping for a bounce. I wouldn't be surprised, as I said, to see Bitcoin kind of excuse me, kind of consolidate, possibly in the short term, come back up, test this resistance, and then come back down, create a double bottom of support, and then maybe off to the races. We'll have to wait and see what happens. To the upside, if we do get up, if we do get an impulse wave, if we do get some volume and something that fuels an impulse wave, if I go from our swing high to swing low, yeah, I mean this resistance zone here jives perfectly to the upside, right in between the 236 fib and the 382 fib level, guys. So this is going to be more than likely a very, very strong resistance that Bitcoin needs to get past. Above that, there are numerous number of resistance zones that we need to get past, but that's going to be key if we are going to get any kind of an uptrend. So, we may see something like this. We may see, I find it here. If this is in fact the bottom of wave C, we could see 1, 2, and then a third wave, something like this. That would be the most bullish scenario if we are going to see something like this. Something like that. If we are going to see something like this, guys, we have to see volume increase. That's a must. We absolutely have to see volume increase. If we don't see volume increase, guys, let me just clean this up a little bit so you can see. If we don't see volume increase, guys, as I said, more than likely it might just kind of meander here to the side, possibly even come down here into this zone. As it reaches deep into this zone, guys, if it gets as it gets reaches deeper into this zone, if that's what happens, the probability becomes higher. We're going to start triggering some buy orders. How many buy orders are sitting down there? We'll have to wait and see. If we haven't got a decent impulse by the time it gets down to about the 6070 part, the bottom of this portion of this support, then there's a very high likelihood, guys, that we are heading down to the 5900. So that's kind of the I'm really keeping an eye on that zone, guys. Really keeping an eye, waiting to see where price is going to go. This is a no trade zone for me. As I said, this is kind of put up or shut up for Bitcoin. I really think so. I really think that this is we're going to really know whether or not we're going to continue to the downside or to the upside if Bitcoin breaks past this 618, past that golden zone. If it does, guys, well, we'll wait and see what happens. We'll wait and see how this plays out. So obviously, all eyes are going to be on this 6800 resistance. I've had some questions. People have asked me, you haven't really talked much about this inverted head and shoulders. I know some other analysts are. I was watching this, guys. I'm kind of, in my opinion, it makes no sense. 99% of the time when you hear analysts talk about the makings of an inverted head and shoulders, you see them talking about it sometimes when price is over here, even here. I mean, they talk about it so early, and 99% of the time it just doesn't come to fruition. I wasn't going to talk about it until a logical bounce for me would have been sitting in here in this wedge. If we would have seen a bounce to the upside, I would have started talking about an inverted head and shoulders being very, very, very possible. But given that we, given that we got the break to the downside, we had no impulse up. Just kind of reached the top of what should have been a shoulder here. Should have seen a break up. We didn't see that, and it just kind of continued down, guys. So as of right now, this isn't looking very symmetrical. It doesn't mean that it's been invalidated, not yet. If it does break below this support zone here, then yes, this inverted head and shoulders. For those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, this being the left shoulder, this being the head, and this would have been the right shoulder, which hasn't played out yet. We need to see an impulse up. So that's kind of the inverted head and shoulders that some people are talking about and looking at. And guys, I'm right now, given that we just had that breakdown, it's not looking very symmetrical to me. I think it's kind of, long shot as to whether or not that's going to play out, but it's still a possibility, and we'll wait and see, how this plays out. If we do end up somehow breaking past all this resistance, and remember, this is going to be a strong resistance. We got a strong resistance at 6600 to 6530. If we can somehow break above that, guys, and we can somehow get to where we're testing the 6800 resistance point again, I think at that point there would be a high likelihood that Bitcoin would break through. But we got a lot of resistance to go through until it's to that point. So again, this is a no trade zone for me, guys. It just is. It just is. I'm a passenger. I'm waiting to see if you're long in this market, and you aren't, you're planning on holding your Bitcoin for the next 10 years, then by all means, go ahead. I mean, you don't care if it drops down to 5,000, you're going to be holding it. And I do eventually think that we're going to reach all-time highs. So yeah, I mean, by all means, if you don't care, if you're going to be holding it for another 10 years and you want to roll the dice, yeah, go for it. But just be aware that there's a high likelihood that you're going to get this at a better price. But hey, if you're holding it for the long haul for the next 10 years, you don't really care about $1,000 swing in one direction or another. In the long term, it's not going to really matter. For your swing traders, though, and you day traders, though, in my opinion, this is a no trade zone for me. It just is. If we break below this support, I may do a quick scalp trade down to 5900 thereabouts. If we can break above this resistance area here, maybe a quick scalp trade up to the 6600, somewhere thereabouts. But for now, this is a no trade zone for me. So anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it there. If you have any comments, questions, suggestions, please let me know in the comments section below. I take them all, guys, even criticism, just let me know. Anything I can add or delete, or any coins you'd like me to start doing a regular update on, please let me know. I've been doing Bitcoin and EOS, every now and then Cardano and Steem. But I mean, there's only so much time in the day, guys. If you have liked this content, please, please, please give me an upvote or a re-steam. I certainly would appreciate that, and that just lets me know that you'd like me to continue to do these videos. I don't do this for the small, for the few dollars I make on Steemit, guys. I do this for you. An upvote and a re-steam just lets me know that you guys would like me to continue to do these videos. So until next time, guys, have a great day, have a great week. We'll be monitoring the markets, and hopefully we'll be talking in the next few days. This is Working, signing out.